So I just want to say thank you so much for having me here, and the blessing that you are in this community. Um, your vibes, you may not realize it, but your vibes are out in this world, and I'm grateful for it. I'm Reverend Anna Scott, and I'm just so happy to be here, and you're looking great today. And yes, I'm a little nervous, but it's a lot better than if I were to try to teach you yoga. Yeah. And you're not a teacher. So since I left CSL Grand Junction and have been free, I guess, one advantage has been I have been learning more about unity teachings. And today's title, as you already have heard, is The Beneficial Presence. And you may know of this woman, May Rowland. Does that name? Oh, good. So I'm not telling you stuff that you already know. So May Rowland, just briefly, was a big part of Unity, the silent Unity, the prayer room for 55 frickin' years. Wow. Anyway, she said this. Now, I just want you to just take this into your consciousness and kind of keep it in the back of your mind as we go through today, okay? Are you acquainted with the power within you that will remake your life? Are you acquainted with the power within you that will remake your life? So May Rowland wrote a few books, but the book that I have read, thanks to Barbara Bellamy, is a book called Dare to Believe. And in that book, May Rowland says, there's always been within us a vague yet persistent feeling that there is something within us that is greater than what we express. She says that Jesus came to reveal this powerful truth to us. I only smile because I have to show you this. I have not really been, I like Jesus fine and all that, but I felt that what I'm in love with is the consciousness, Christ consciousness. So not Jesus the man, yeah. But look who we have here today. Yeah, it says, Jesus loves you. Yeah, so anyway, Jesus taught us that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So today, as we consider that beneficial presence within us, this will give us an opportunity to open to that radiant truth that we are never separate from the divine flow of good. There have been times in our lives, maybe for me, probably not you, where I have felt bound by my circumstances, by what was around me, bound by the objective world of appearances. However, what I know in truth is that in every circumstance, beneath every appearance, the presence of good is here. It is here, it is active, it is available, and it is for us. So, what's the word? Cornucopia. Yeah. So in our culture, the cornucopia represents the bounty of Thanksgiving. And as you can see, this is what it normally looks like. A horn-shaped container called the Horn of Plenty by many people, probably even you. Yeah? Why not? Let's say it. Okay, so it's overflowing with fruits and flowers and other good things. It symbolizes abundance and plenty. This horn is an inexhaustible store of something. Take that in spiritually, an inexhaustible store of something. The inexhaustible store of that beneficial presence that is within each one of us. So, interesting story about this cornucopia horn, how that story came about. It goes all the way back to Greek mythology, and there's this guy, Zeus. Now, I guess Zeus, I don't know what happened, but Zeus's mom sent him off to summer camp, and he never came back. No. Zeus did not grow up with his parents, because his dad, I think, wanted to kill him. I think that was the story. But, so Zeus had as his mother figure a goat, as often we do. Yeah. So so Zeus was being fed by this goat, and accidentally Zeus broke one of the horns off the goat. Well, magically, that horn gained the divine power to provide food and drink for Zeus forever. And it only makes sense because Zeus was the god of gods. The god of gods. I don't think there's a higher position. Yeah, so I'm just amazed at all that story about the cornucopia. Yeah, so we look at it in a symbolic sense to represent power, strength, or exaltation, and that inexhaustible supply of the beneficial presence within us. So this is May Rowland, and she was born in 1890 and died in 1977. And she, at the age of 26, succeeded Myrtle Fillmore as the director of Silent Unity, and did that, as I said earlier, for 55 years. You know, interesting about Silent Unity, I mean, we in this modern age are used to emails and texts and all that, but think of Silent Unity began in 1890, the year May Rowland was born. Well, they didn't have any internet in the 1890s. So it started out with letters. Like people would write letters. Remember when people used to write letters? Most of us probably have written a letter in our life. Well, you don't have to confess. So anyway, when May Rowland started doing the Silent Unity, she would often go to Charles Fillmore to get advice with difficult letters. If you've been around, you know about the difficult letters. You may have written it yourself. But anyway, after a few times of him helping her with the letters, he told her, "The Christ mind is in you. Use it." And I'm telling you that today. The Christ mind is in you. It's in all of us. Let's use it. May Rowland said, "Faith is never passive. Do not delude yourself. Get busy. It's up to each one of us to be strong and to know that God is bigger than any conflict we can imagine." She says, each one, keep faith. It's not too late. And then again she said, May Rowland said, "Are you acquainted with the power within you that will remake your life?" When I read that line, I thought, are you acquainted with the power? Now, acquainted to me means like an acquaintance. Like somebody you met at the grocery store with a friend and don't even remember their name. Is the Spirit, the power within us, something that we've barely met? Sometimes I think, yeah. So how do we become acquainted with this presence? Well, like any relationship, spend time with it. And for each one of us, it's going to be unique. We're unique expressions. So how it would work for me may not be how it works for you. We have to start where we are. And I know for a fact that even you spending 5 minutes a day with your higher power will make a difference in your life. So you could pray, you can meditate, you can go out in nature and just talk with your Creator. Talk with that beneficial presence that's within you. So today we're going to be talking about ways to deepen our knowing that there is no true connection out there. It all happens in here. We're going to do our best to practice seeing through that lens of spiritual awareness. That lens of spiritual awareness that is always perfect vision. That the beneficial presence, it's not coming, it's here. It's not a material thing, it is consciousness. It's here, right now, right where you are. May Rowland also talked about God is your help in every need. You might recognize that guy. That's my friend Mike. So Jesus said, I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there ye may be also. He was talking about a place in consciousness. Christ consciousness, if you will, the perfect consciousness, the beneficial presence. So when we have a need or a desire, let us realize that that beneficial presence is willing and is right where we are. The holdup for us seems to be, are we willing? Has there ever been a time in your life that you didn't want to ask for help? Yeah, we don't want to be a bother. Or we're fearful of being judged as incapable or weak. Yeah, or fear of being vulnerable, to admit that you're struggling. You know, there have been times in my life that I've even been afraid to ask God for help. God, the infinite intelligence, all-knowing, all-powerful presence. And I think this little problem is too much for that spirit. Going to be too much of a bother? I know a word for that, but I won't say it. God is your help in every need. So I want to tell you a little story. Long ago and far away, I had an opportunity to see this come to life. I was going to iron a shirt, which I still do iron things, and I went in my bathroom to put the iron under the faucet and put water in the iron, and I just tapped the sink with the iron, and the sink fell into the vanity. So, yeah. So first I looked at it and I thought, well, I think there are sinks. So this sink was I don't know how much you know about this, but there are sinks that are undermount and overmount. I know a lot about it now, Mike. This was undermount.
It's a sinking picture. It's a sinking picture.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's all my affirmations. Anyway, so I looked, and I just kind of looked online, and I thought, well, there's overmount sinks, so I could just get a sink that'll just drop in there, and it'll be easy, and I can do this myself. And then I was talking to Mike for some other reason, and I said, would you just come and look at this? I wasn't really saying, Mike, will you come and do it and spend 5 days with this? But, I think Mike knew better than I. Beneficial presence was there, however. So the challenge, well, so we looked for overmount sink. They wouldn't fit because of the way that granite is cut. And I didn't want to replace that granite. I kind of love it. So Mike and I decided we're going to replace that original sink. Now the thing with that is that sink is going to have to be held up until the glue dries. Now who's going to be able to stay there for 24 hours to do that? So Mike was so creative, he made this wooden frame to hold the sink up. It included the wooden frame to hold the sink up, a base of other, like, bigger boards, and then my car jack. So we just jacked it up. Yeah. So in this case, the beneficial presence was there. The beneficial presence was God. The beneficial presence was God in the form of my friend Mike. And thank you, Mike. Yeah, and that beneficial presence shows itself as each one of us as we allow. And there is something that comes back to us in a good feeling from helping others. Right, Mike?
I'm waiting for it.
So I'm not so nervous anymore. Yes. So the beneficial presence is our source and supply. The good of God is right where we are all the time. That beneficial presence isn't distant, delayed, or dependent on anything except our openness to it. The good is not something to attain or discover. It's something to reveal that is already present within us. It is the very essence of our being, eternally expressing as the life we are living. That beneficial presence is that which causes us to breathe without us thinking about, oh, I better breathe. My heart continues to beat, and I'm not really consciously asking my heart to beat. The beneficial presence is allowing that to happen. Yeah, so I love music. I hope you do too. It looks like you do. So there's this song, Simply the Best. It was written by Steve Chapman and Holy Knight, and it was recorded by Bonnie Tyler in 1988. I don't know if you remember Bonnie Tyler. It's a Heartache. Yeah, I never knew she did that song, but it was really made famous by Tina Turner. And she released it in 1989. And if you were a Schitt's Creek fan, it was also featured in that show. But all this stuff about that song. Anyway, there's a line from that song that says, "You speak a language of love like you know what it means." You speak a language of love like you know what it means. Well, the beneficial presence only knows the language of love. The true language of love is a language beyond words. It's just only known to us in feelings. You know, we try to express love or spiritual experiences in words, but it's really not truly possible. We have to do it in the language of love, like we know what it means. May Rowland said, every day our faith increases through the law of use. That also hit me. The law of, like, if we want it to work, we need to use it. So as we commit to our spiritual practices, our faith increases. As we open to that awareness of God, as we express the higher vibration of gratitude, we're awakened to more things to be grateful for. What we focus on increases. Let's look for the beneficial presence, in whatever form it might be taking. Gratitude, or being aware of that beneficial presence, magnifies the potential of our lives. Ernest Holmes is the founder of Science of Mind, in case you didn't know of him. But he taught about the general mental tendency of a person. General mental tendency. And I think you can imagine that in your mind. There are some people that come in and they're just a fountain of joy and make everybody feel better, and there are other people that like kind of suck the energy. Well, let's go for the beneficial presence, that kind of a general mental tendency. When our general mental tendency is that life is good, we're living more in the awareness of the beneficial presence. That beneficial presence reminds us we're never alone. God is your help in every need. God may show up in different ways. A baby laughing, a beautiful rose, a puppy, or a kitten, or Mike. So a gratitude practice is so important, and it's always good to take a moment at night to give thanks for your day. think of at least one thing that you're grateful for and remember it and set an intention to sleep in that energy of gratitude. And then when we wake up in the morning, be grateful for something. And even if it's something as simple as I have a roof over my head, or can't wait to have coffee. Speak your affirmation. So May Rowland also in that book says, and I would say read that book if you haven't read it. It's little and it's little sections, great book. She said this, read these words of Jesus. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible to you. Perhaps you, as I, have read this passage many times and have concentrated on the thought of that tiny grain of mustard seed having the ability to remove mountains. But the important part of that text is the word say. We are not just to think or even to pray, but we are to speak the word of faith fearlessly as an active, commanding prayer. We are encouraged to speak our word, to engage our connection with that beneficial presence. And if you are willing, let's just come together for a few minutes as we experience this beneficial presence, connecting our energies in meditation. And so if it's comfortable for you, just take a deep breath, knowing that it is that beneficial presence breathing you. Breathing in the goodness, breathing in love, breathing out the goodness. In your beautiful imagination, imagine yourself glowing with that beneficial presence. Imagine a radiant healing light forming in your heart space. With every inhale, imagine this beneficial presence flowing into your heart space, into your body, flowing into your lungs and out into every muscle, every tissue, every artery, every vein. Your entire body is being filled with that light of the beneficial presence. And as you exhale, that beneficial presence flows around your physical body. With every inhale, you recognize and remember this beneficial presence as your true self. With every exhale, that presence is flowing around your body. And as we continue this together, that beneficial presence, that energy, that vibration is joining us together as one in consciousness. There is indeed one life, and we sense and feel it now. From this place, we expect every good thing to come to us. We see divine abundance as a beneficial presence, forever manifesting in our affairs. And now, if you would just say within yourself these words. I am keeping my whole mind and thought and expectation and consciousness open. I am open to new joyful experiences. I am open to wholeness that is my life expressing as a beneficial presence. Everything that belongs to the beneficial presence, I accept. I identify with success, with health, with money and time freedom. I give thanks for the good of the beneficial presence flowing as my life. I give thanks and gladly share this good with others. I experience a deeper consciousness of peace. I am deliberately aware of the beneficial presence as me. I am deliberately aware of the beneficial presence as me. I am aware that I am in the embrace of a warm, loving presence forever, seeking an outlet through me. There is a power for good in the universe greater than I am. That power is within me. That power is the beneficial presence. I allow it to flow through my being. The I am in me is good and only good. I continue to hold this high watch every moment of every day. I am blessed. So if you would just bring your attention back to your breath, finding yourself again in this room, hearing the noises, maybe moving your feet or your fingers, knowing that you are surrounded by, filled with, and lifted by the beneficial presence. Thank you.